I remember when Everything Everywhere All at Once first came out. I saw it opening night, and the movie really resonated. And it obviously resonated with a lot of other people because it went on to win Best Picture. And many, many people rave about it just in terms of general audiences as well. And the beautiful part is we can all pick a portion of the movie, like, you know, whatever a theme or a subplot, whatever it may be, a facet of the movie that we gravitate towards most. For me, one quote in particular that like really solidified why I love the movie was when Waymond says, "When I choose to see the good side of things, I'm not being naive. It is strategic and necessary. It's how I learn to survive through everything." And in a world where there's seemingly an endless supply of terrible, terrible news, this is something that I think about often. Because we can look at other people who, you know, navigate through this time or their lives in general and are cheerful, upbeat, and so forth, and we look at them as, how dare they? They're just blissfully ignoring, you know, all the negative stuff out there. And that's not necessarily the case. It can be, but the real undertone of this quote, to me, is not to spiritually bypass any of the world's sorrows, but it does hint at this idea that who benefits if I'm right there in the trenches of it all, right? You know? In fact, Dietrich Walczak, who's a therapist, has this notion that he never believes a patient's story, because as soon as he does, he's right there with them and therefore can't help them out of that story. And story implies their own limiting beliefs and just, you know, things that they can't overcome. It's not to say that aspects of it aren't true, but they built a story around it, which oftentimes makes them the victim, and therefore they can't, you know, overcome any of those life's challenges presented in their way. And so, yeah, that's why for me, I do choose to see the good side of things. And I am not being naive, right? That's the key thing there. That's why I don't believe this is about spiritual bypassing, because it's not about being naive, you know? It's not to say that the world isn't full of darkness. We recognize it. But how we survive is by seeing the goodness and going towards that and acting on that and trying, and in so doing, allowing others to follow in our footsteps and showing them that it is possible, that this world does exist and there can be joy. That's why I love this quote. Let me know if you agree with my assessment of it.